driving me crazy just looking at it. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. You do this thing when you're biting your lip, it's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. You do this thing when you're biting your lip, it's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. World without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. World without you. Driving me crazy just looking at it. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. Without you, driving me crazy just thinking. Driving me crazy just thinking. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. Combing your hair with your hand gives me feelings I don't understand. You do this thing when you're biting your lip, it's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. You do this thing when I'm talking to you, like everything freezes and it's just you. You do this thing when I'm talking to you, like everything freezes and it's just you. You do this thing when you're biting your lip, it's driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live in a world without you. Give it to me like world without you. Me crazy just thinking. World without you. Driving me crazy just thinking. You do this thing when you're biting your lip. World without you. Driving me crazy just thinking. Driving me crazy just looking at it. You know me better than I know myself. I don't wanna live without you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's good. Weather's definitely getting better out there, so finally managed to get out and do some of the garden work. Got an hour and a little bit to spare, so I thought, you know what, I haven't done a show for a little while, so catch up with a couple of things and what I've been seeing on here. I mean, after what Levy said yesterday, well, I don't think the man's definitely done himself no favours on when he decides to put that down, does he? Seeing as what we've got coming up Sunday. Also, had the fun of watching Ange's review on what channel is that called? Octopus Sport or whatever they do out there. Some of the things that man says, he just definitely does himself no favours, does he? Talk about contradict himself over and over again. I mean, surely his days have got to be numbered now, and it is basically all down to the fact on that Europa Cup. If he wins it, do you know what? I still think Levy might kick him, even if he wins it now, unless we win the next 10 games in the league. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. But yeah, other one that also just found out, most of you probably know about it already now, but literally just found it out 20 minutes ago. Looks like we lost out on Paratici. Looks like he is going AC Milan. Well done, Levy. That's another one you've missed on. Pardon me. Now, I know quite a few people didn't really see much in Paratici as such. I didn't think he was bad. I didn't think he was great, but I didn't think he was bad. But one thing I can definitely tell you is significantly better than what we got. And by missing out on him, I do wonder, are we going to stick with who we got, or are we going to go for a different one? I really don't know now. But we definitely need someone in who can make the deals. And Paratici, for me, was a was a better option than what we got. He did get us some good players. So I must admit, I'm not too impressed that we've missed out on that one. I was hoping that we would get him back in here, that he'd pick us, get us a half decent manager and that, but I suppose it just wasn't meant to be. So I'll say hello to a couple of people. And Lily White Lane, how you doing, mate? Big up, Dan. Hope you're well, mate. I'm all cool. Hope you're good as well. And Mark, big up, Dan, the man legend. Big up to you too, fella. Angus, big up, Dan. Hope you're well, mate. I'm perfectly fine. Hope everything's good with you. And Ryan, big up, Dan, in the chat. I must admit, that Paratici one has really pissed me off. More than I probably showed it. I just keep looking at it and I just think, why did we let him slip? Not the best in the world, but so much better than what we already had. That one has frustrated me a bit. And Mark also, there is my man Angus, favourite Arsenal supporter. And Lee, big up Dan, big up to you too. And Angus, Optus, that's the one, mate. That's the one. And also saying hello to Mark. I'm your favourite gunner. Yep. Well, I don't think I've got any of them, but either way. And Mark, Angus, Country Mile. And Brian also saying, Levy and Lange destroyed what Paratici did. No wonder he didn't want to come back. Our owners are scumbags. Mate, we know the owners are scumbags, and we do know at the end of the day, nothing is going to really change until Levy goes. And hopefully these protests that are going to be happening more and more regular, I doubt that'll put pressure on him leaving, but let's just hope it can change things. I mean, the way the first protest went, I couldn't get to the first one. Couldn't have really asked it to go any better. Now, this one coming up on Sunday, 110%. I'm definitely going to be there for that one. And I think that one should have even more people up there. Seeing as the first one did hit it so good, I can't see why there won't be more people there for the next one. So it should definitely be an interesting day. I mean, I'm looking forward to going up there for the protests and also meeting up with everybody else up there. Should be a good day. It's going to be expensive getting up there and back because it looks like I'm going to have to get a cab up there because the bloody trains have all gone knackered for the weekend by the look of it. But we shall see on the day. But 100%, even if I have to pay to get a cab up there, I will definitely be up there for the Sunday. So that we can all basically look at that and say 24 years, 16 managers, coming up for 17 managers, one trophy, time for a change. Yes, it definitely is. And Angus, just saying here, we just got Andrea Berta. You need someone like that. What do you want me to say to that, mate? Exactly. You went and got exactly what you needed. And the experience the fella's got from Atletico Madrid. But no, Spurs, we don't do things like that. We'll probably go for another little Mickey Mouse man. And that's how we work. I mean, that's if we even get a new bloody manager. Hopefully we will. And Future Bright, Future's Lily White Coys. Yeah, Dan the man, hope you're good, brother. Hope you're good as well, mate. Future's Bright also saying, think this is the only channel I'm a member of now. Talk sense, no childish bullshit. Keep it up. Okay, thanks a lot, mate. It's appreciated. But trust me, I'm not the only one out there who says it is, mate. There's a few others out there who do. And then we all know there's other channels. I don't know. Do they say what you think they want you to hear? Or is it they just got a different opinion? They're totally entitled to a different opinion. I just like to try and be realistic, mate. So it is appreciated. I still think of Terry Tibbs when I listen. I'll take that as a compliment. And then the Boomverse, big up Dan and big up all. Big up to you too, mate. And Scott, big up Dan. I am happy to hear that Paratici news. We should aim for better than him. I get where you're coming from, Scott, but seriously, where are we going to get better than him? Look who we are. We should be doing a lot of things. We should do a lot of things different, but we don't. We're Tottenham. That is the problem. Daniel Levy is our owner. That is the problem. Personally, I don't see where we're going to get better than him, Scott. If you can come up with one for me, then please do it. But I honestly don't see where we would actually get better than him. And Ryan's saying it will be more than last time. So many are sick and tired of it now. Yep, I totally agree, and I definitely hope you're right with that. I mean, there was over 2,000 there last time, is how it looked to me, and what a lot of other people said. So I can see it getting significantly more people there. Definitely, I hope so. And the more people there, the merrier, basically. And then if this one hits the ground running, then the next one will get bigger, and so on. I mean, especially with the next game we got as well. I don't think people will be happy after the result of that. I mean, I'll go to that soon. But that's a game where I just wonder, why do we even bother turning up? And Dan 90, big up, mate. Big up you too. And Ellie, how we doing? Big up, boss man Dan. Are you busy in or out, Dan? I take it you mean Bissouma. Look, he just hasn't performed at Spurs, has he? And it wouldn't be a bad thing to let him go. But the only defence I do have of the man, as I will have a lot of the other players, is we don't play him to their advantages. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's not a defensive box-to-box player. Not that we even play with a DM. But he's not even a defensive box-to-box style player. He's one who gets the ball, goes forward with it, puts it to the closest man on the left or the right or in front of him. But again, it's another one that Ange just totally plays him out of sync and doesn't do what he should with him. And it shows. But if we're going to get in a better player, then yeah. But then if we get in a new manager, would he be able to get the better out of Bissouma? But then would we be hanging on to him too long? Because he's had 3 years here now and he definitely hasn't done the job. I don't think it'd be a bad thing to see him go. But then if we got a new manager that could get the best out of him, I don't think it'd be a bad thing to keep him either. I mean, a new manager coming in, he's definitely going to have a look at a few of the players on there, because there's a few of the players there personally that I know people don't like, that I don't like. Johnson, I would have him out of there straight away, but I suppose that's a different story with that. I mean, tell you what, Ellie, give me a minute. If you want to pop on it and say something about this, I've just sent you the link. Since I hardly do get to see you and we hardly get to see you on here, I've just sent you the link, Ellie. If you want to jump on and have your say about that with Bissouma, then feel free. And Future Bright saying, yeah, maybe Sava and Stell. Yep, definitely them two. And there's a couple of others, obviously Brian. And I do think there's a couple of the other channels are starting to actually see it now, starting to see Ange for what he is. But then we all know there's other ones out there who just don't want to admit that maybe they got this one wrong. And for me, it shouldn't even be a bloody tit-for-tat war on who got this wrong or right. People seem to think that us negative lot, as we're labelled, want Spurs to do bad, that we want us to lose. We don't. It's just we're being honest on how we see things going. And I'm not going to sit there and big the manager up just to keep everybody happy or big players up. I just try to be realistic about it. And for me, Ange has been done and dusted for a while now. I think a few people are starting to turn and see it as well, but you got others, they just won't back down. Come love nor money. And Rob, big up to you, mate. He's saying big up Dan, big up to you. And what's that? Led. Oh, I'll just call you Led, mate. I ain't even going to try and pronounce that. So is Paratici done? It looks that way. It's not 100%, but by the look of it, it's 95% that he's going AC Milan, not Spurs. And there's my wife, Terry Tibbs. Yes, Beth. Thank you. Futures Bright saying, that's a compliment, mate. You're a good fella. Cheers, mate. It's appreciated. Also saying, how the hell has Ange not been sacked? He's the worst manager we've had in years, given the squad and the money spent. He's awful. Mate, he's absolutely shocking. But he still gets defended. And I do just think, how are people so set on defending him? I could almost see the point to it for a while people wanted to stick by him longer. Another manager, another start, another process. Nobody wanted it. I didn't want it. But I think it's been obvious for a while now that Ange is just not the one. The players aren't performing for him. It looks like half of them don't want to be there for him. The whole thing has gone tits up completely. He should have been gone a while ago. But I think a few people wanted to try and support him, hang on to him, because they didn't want it all to change again. And then there's some people still clutching at straws who just won't admit it that Ange is not the man. And Phil2109, what are you saying here? Big up Dan and everyone on the chat. Big up to you too, mate. Spurs are blacklisted. Yeah, we might as well be, mate. But Levy has it perfect. Pasty on manager, who is willing to take all the blame. Yeah, he does. And Ange is a yes man. He is. He's Levy's little yes man. He's perfect for Levy, isn't he? Absolutely perfect for him. And Philly2109 just saying big up Beth and big up to you. And Tom saying afternoon, everyone. Hope everything is well. Hope everything's good for you as well. Well, just a couple of points I want to get to. Like I say, I'm not going to do a long one. Levy with his report yesterday. How much more does that fella want to try and take the piss out of the supporters? I mean, we are the, what is it, 7th, 8th or 9th? I don't know what one it is now. It's richest club in the world. And he has a little dig at us basically because he's been getting a lot of messages of spend more money. So he comes out with a statement of, since we've had the new stadium, we've spent 700 million. Fair enough. On crap, basically. Bar a couple of players. The majority of it, we buy substandard average players. Or we buy youth players, like we did last season, with a hope that they will come good. With a hope that, how would I put it? Some say that their ceiling is high, or whatever way they want to put it. But he won't pay the wages. So we're not going to get those sort of players until you pay those sort of wages. But it's like he almost had a dig at the fans, the way he done it. I mean, I don't know how other people see with what he put on there, but it almost, he might as well have just turned around and said the audacity of you Spurs supporters to say that. Well, we do pay the most for everything. I think we are the highest on the season tickets, or second highest. Everything at that stadium cost an arm and a leg. Everything to do with Tottenham cost an arm and a leg. The amount of income it has out of the stadium as well. And as all we want is for Tottenham to win something, to buy some better players, to actually go and get a decent manager. Are we really asking that much? I don't think we are. I mean, like other comments he made, he can only spend money where it's sustainable for the long time. And you're just, you know, if the money is not that easy at Spurs, I bet you he goes and walks away with about 3.5 to 4 million of his bonus. He's got us a manager that's got us in 14th place. We're going to be lucky if we finish in 12th. And the fact that he still goes and pays himself a 3.5 million or a 4 million, or it wouldn't even surprise me if it's a £5 million bonus. It just makes you feel physically sick with the fella. I mean, if the money is getting that hard, like he's suggesting, that's how I took it anyway. I might be wrong. Why hasn't he even sold the stadium rights yet? I mean, that's nearly 5 years, and he still hasn't sold the name of the stadium yet. Is it that no one's willing to put in the amount of money he wants? Or were there other reasons why he did it? I don't know. But if we need money that much and we're not that easy on it, like it comes across like he's suggesting, then sell the stadium rights, sell the stadium names. I'm sure there's plenty of big names out there that would do it. I'm sure he'd get a good few 100 million for it, but he still hasn't done it. And that is one I must admit. I mean, I suppose you can go through, there's a few reasons why he might have done it, he might not have done it, whatever, but he could easily get a good 150, 200 million deal basically for those stadium rights, and he still hasn't gone and done it. it's just the audacity of the fella. The sooner he goes, the better. Because why Levy is at this club, I'm not going to go into it properly because you all know it. We're just never going to succeed. And that's why we need more and more people at these protests. Start pushing harder and harder on his back to either try and get this fella to fuck off or to at least change the way he does things so he looks at us as a football club. Not a bloody business, a football club. That is all I really ask for. But we're not. We're more of a business than anything, it looks like. Well, to him, it definitely is. But most of the time, with the way we do things and everything, we are run as blatantly just as a business, sadly. And I don't support a business. I support a football team, same as everyone else on here. But then you'll also get a lot of people out there defend Levy as well. Either way, I'll leave it at that with Levy. And then I'll go on to the points that I want to make with Ange. And futures buy, what are you saying here, mate? We know we need to go get a young tactician, maybe. I agree with that. From another league, someone who can turn these players into world beaters, like Eddie Howe has done at Newcastle. Just shows, and we have a better squad, in my opinion. I totally agree with you. We need someone who can adapt to a game of football, who isn't just going to be set on playing the same way over and over again to the point that everybody knows how to beat us, and it might as well be on a bloody diary, for God's sake. Like, they don't even have to train for it. They know how Spurs play. Oh, don't worry, it's only Tottenham we got next. We know what to do with it. Because we still keep getting done the same ways we got done last season. Not so much down the middle, but down the flanks, definitely down on our right-hand side. We get absolutely destroyed down there because he still uses the inverted stuff all the time. But that is what I'd like to see. Slightly younger manager who can adapt. I would rather Premiership experience, but I bet you there's plenty of others out there who can do the job. We're not going to go and get a world-class manager. That's not going to happen. But we need a manager who can adapt. We need a coach, someone who can coach some of these players. And seeing as we do have this younger team, and we're meant to be doing a youth project as such, then you definitely need someone who can coach it. Not someone who's going to stand a mile and just watch and then just tell his coaches what to do. You need someone who's going to get involved with the actual players. That's how I feel with it anyway. And Ange, again, it's another thing that's definitely not his strong point, is it? And Wayne, good afternoon, boss. Good afternoon to you too, mate. The sun is out, but I'm unoptimistic about Thursday. Expect the unexpected. Well, I mean, we got Chelsea, haven't we, mate? What do you really want me to say to it? I mean, we might, season in, season out, without fail, we might as well just give them the 3 points. They destroy us every time at Stamford Bridge without fail. They usually do us twice a bloody season. I mean, it's just one of those games like the other one with us going to Anfield. 9 times out of 10, we might as well just give them the bloody 3 points. So, no, I'm not looking forward to the game on Thursday. I don't even think I bloody want to watch it, but obviously it's going to be painful. It usually is when we play Chelsea. And Zealous, big up to you. How are you, Dan? I'm all fine. Now I've got the back garden half sorted out. Got the rest of the week to do it. I'm all fine. And Future Bite saying here, love Brian 2-2, man. And Beth saying, hi at Philly 2109. Psycho Teacher, big up to you, mate. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to you. Daniel 90, what are you saying here? I will never support a manager who's clearly out of his depth. I mean, this is the one that gets me, yeah? I mean, what do people call support? I mean, for me, support is wanting to win. I want my team to win. I support Tottenham, not Ange, not the players. I want Tottenham to win. I want what is best for Tottenham. And Ange isn't doing his job. And it's blatantly showing over 18 months we're in 14th place and I want him out because I support Tottenham, not Ange. I mean, I suppose people just look on supporting differently. I just want the results. I want to see some silverware. I want Tottenham to win things. I don't really care what manager we have as long as he does his bloody job, and Ange ain't doing his job. But some people say that even if they're doing a terrible job like he is, you've got to back the manager. So if we're meant to tell the players and the manager they want to hear it when everything's going right and they're doing it good, well, then they've also got to take the other side as well, haven't they? I mean, it can't just work on one side. I know a lot of the players and the managers wish it would, but if they want Sunshine blown up their ass because they're doing good, then they've also got to take the shit for when it's going bad. And this season, bad is an understatement. And clearly out of his depth, I totally agree with you, mate. 100% out of his depth. And it does show big time. And Future Bright also seeing, I see a spade as a spade, and Andy's a championship manager. That's his ceiling. I agree. Scottish Premier League is his peak, and I don't think you'll see any better out of that. I mean, when he finally does get the sack from here, which I think he will do, hopefully, I don't exactly see a big team coming in and taking him. I mean, when he'd been with us for 6 months and there was mention like Klopp was leaving and that, some people were trying to say that Liverpool were going to go for him. Yeah, I believe that one, sure. And Queen Ellie, how you doing? What you saying? I can't jump on as I'm at my cousin's home, but Spot and Dan, I totally agree with your take on Bissouma. If we do move him on, what midfielder do you want to come in? If Ange goes to, I suppose random one that there's a whole list of them you can make. I would have to look through a list of that to who we would bring in, how much money have we got to spend. I just don't want to go out and buy more youth players. We've got more than enough youth players there. We now need some experience there. We now need some, pardon me, we now need some players with a bit of experience. Players where the younger lot can look up to them, learn off of them. I mean, what is our youth team meant to be? What is our youth team meant to be doing? Bloody thing. Where is it? Sorry, computer.